This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the fourth and most likely final figure in the Masters of the Universe X Transformers Crossover figure collection. This is the Starscream armor Scareglow, the evil Decepticon ghost of Skeletor. And we're not going to get into that whole drama right now either. We take a look at his box. It looks fine. It does mention that he glows in the dark, and parts of him do. Not a whole lot of him though, if I remember correctly. On the side, we see Scareglow's happy little face. The artwork for Scareglow looks a lot better than the figure does. And on the other side, we see a smirking Starscream. And on the back, with the power of the treacherous Starscream at his disposal, Scareglow was all too happy to help Skeletor in his latest scheme. In due time, he would usurp the power of Grayskull for Subternia. God, I hate that Subternia storyline with him. That is such a gross thing that they did. Thank you, Kevin Smith. I hope you never touch He-Man ever again. Like, seriously, the original origin of Scareglow was he was yanked from another dimension by Skeletor. That was actually kind of a cool thing. And we even have that mentioned in one of the more recent mini-comics, the one with Blast Attack, where Scareglow's actually trying to usurp power to get back home to his home dimension. But no, we gotta do the whole Subternia thing because Kevin Smith is a god in the geek culture. Go blow yourself. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this guy up, shall we? Here we have tech specs for him. Starscream armor. Megatron's last recorded memory of Starscream was his remains, so it is only fitting that the ghost of Skeletor wield the unpredictable power of the Decepticon Air Commander. Perhaps the most dangerous armor. It only has one mode: destroy. Strength 7, speed 8, endurance 6, courage 8, power 9, skill 7. So we have a little white sheet of paper that shows us all the parts that come off, but doesn't mention the cape, which also comes off, which I had to do in order to get him out of the package. He has the crown that we always have to give Starscream nowadays, apparently, in modern Transformers. Could we please stop with the crown? It showed up for like 5 seconds in one movie. How does this even go on his head? Is it just supposed to literally sit on top of there? Like, you would think they would have made it so that it kind of snapped into place or something, but I guess that's too much to ask for. I mean, it shows it further down on his head on the box. There we go. And look, we only had to bend everything out of fucking place, too, to do it. You can kind of see I'm getting fed up with this crap, can't you? And let's take a look at this, right? So we got like a handful of glow-in-the-dark spots on this guy, and that's it. God, what a waste, man. Well, actually, let's go ahead and just test out the glow-in-the-dark feature real quick while we're at it. All right, so here we got our handy-dandy blacklight to power him up for the glow-in-the-dark feature, which we'll turn off. And as you can see, it's extremely disappointing the amount of him that glows in the dark. His biceps, a little bit on his torso, and his face, and that's pretty much it. Even though they used some of the grossest looking colored plastic on this guy, which should have just been made in glow-in-the-dark plastic. Yeah, what a waste. What an absolute waste. People who have been watching my channel for a while do know that I like glow-in-the-dark toys. So when this was first announced, I was pretty excited about it. But it really is just a total letdown. And I guess the whole idea here is that they made the armor bone-colored. But again, either you went all the way with the glow-in-the-dark, or you should have made it gray to go with the Starscream motif. Because first off, that bone color looks pretty gross with the red and blue anyway. So yeah, once again, the Transformers crossover kind of lets me down. Let's go ahead here. Take off his cape here a moment. Oh, shoot, again. Just to point out, the cape is actually plastic. Well, no, obviously not soft goods. And it's got 2 red tabs on it that are a hard, firm plastic for sticking in the back here. So that's not too bad. We can also see there's a spinal column back here where it does look like the red plastic here on him is not actually painted, but a separate piece from the glow-in-the-dark parts. So on the plus side there, they didn't go super cheap and just paint all that. He does have a diaper, and I think it is actually a newer diaper. I don't believe this came with either Megatron, Man-at-Arms, Bumblebee, or Optimus Prime He-Man. The forearms may also be newer too. Obviously, the boots are. Like, the design of the figure itself isn't too bad. It's just they failed with the actual generation of it. Like, this whole part, if you were going to not make this in glow-in-the-dark plastic, then you should have gone ahead and made the bone structure glow-in-the-dark again, like in the original figure. Let's remove the stupid crown. I honestly hate this crown. You know, again, like freaking a minute in the movie, and then it showed up again later in one of the Unicron trilogy episodes of, was it Cybertron? It's just not great. Starscream's weapon, though, it can come out of his hand, off his arm, so it could be used like a seeker weapon, or you have the option of using it like a gun. And finally, you can fit it in like an axe to go along with his actual axe. Scareglow's axe, I should say. Looks like this piece here, the shoulder pauldron, is separate, so you can take that off. Basically, you can make him more of a figure instead of the Coronation Starscream, which I'm not quite sure, like, if this is supposed to be Megatron's memories based on what that thing said, the tech spec. I'm not sure why he would have this be Starscream in Coronation gear. And now I apparently can't get the arm back into place. There we go. So we'll put the cape back on. Maybe, if I can do that. Head sculpt. I mean, they did definitely go all out for this head sculpt. And it does resemble more Starscream than Scareglow. Although it is interesting because it kind of looks like there's a second face up there. Although I think that's all supposed to be like partially battle damaged. At least that streak there for sure. But it's not bad. It looks pretty good. It's probably one of the better head sculpts in the line. Articulation wise, we're going to put that back in place though, because that'll be part of articulation. Spin at the head, because there's a ball joint. The head design itself, though, does not lead to a whole lot of external movement other than the spinning. The up and down is kind of limited, as is the side to side. We can rotate the shoulders around. The cape does kind of get in the way, but you can force your way past it, so that works out in that regard. Of course, the neuroblasters do kind of get in the way, though. We have a single joint at the elbow, less than 90, and it spins a little bit. Yeah, that's been one of the problems with some of these crossover designs, is the design doesn't allow for much articulation. Spin at the wrist, in and out articulation. Again, there's really no reason why the hands could not have been done as glow-in-the-dark parts instead of this kind of gross brown color. The waist spins at a 360. He can only kick up about that far, which is honestly average for Masters of the Universe Origin style. Back about that far. The knee has a single joint in it. Does not do 90 also. It can spin because it is a peg on a hinge. Boot cut moves, 360, and the foot up, down, and spin all around. Of course, we can't forget he does come with the comic Rollout, which also came with He-Man. So if you want to hear my dramatic reading of it, you can certainly watch the He-Man video. I will link it in the end. But here we have Megatron and Scareglow creating Energon cubes out of the power of Grayskull because they decided that the two were related, which honestly sounds kind of stupid since we've also said that Energon is actually also an element. So, you know, whatever. He-Man in his new armor and Man-at-Arms in his new armor come together to try to save Castle Grayskull, and He-Man using the Matrix Sword, which, again, stupid idea. They give us some quotes from Transformers the movie. They fight. Megatron thinks he won. He did not. He-Man comes back up as strong as ever and goes on the attack. It is kind of funny because they tend to sound like they're talking more like the Transformers than like He-Man and Skeletor in this. All they needed is like Prince Adam as Hot Rod to like stop this somehow. But he creates an axe out of his hand. At least in this image, it looks like the axe covers the hand itself and not actually converting. And he fights. He uses the Matrix now, like the Matrix, and opens it up to destroy Skeletor's armor. Scareglow gets away because, you know, even though he was never really shown to be that way, Scareglow gets away and Skeletor is arrested with giant ass metal mittens. So yeah, it was a disappointing crossover comic. I don't understand why they don't, I don't know. Maybe they thought they were being genius with these things. Who knows? But I just feel like it's just another bit of a failure. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with y'all, I really wanted to like this figure more than I do, but that's kind of difficult. There's so much better they could have done with it. They should have made most of them in the glow-in-the-dark plastic, gone with gray for the Decepticon parts, and glow-in-the-dark plastic for the rest of it. That's all they really needed to do, and this would have been a boon. Because the design itself isn't too bad overall, at least not for this crossover line. But man, what a waste of a license too, I feel like, because we're probably not going to get any more figures in this lineup. And I'd still like to see an RC Tila and a Slipstream Evelyn, you know? Those would have been pretty cool to see, but we're not going to get those. If I were you guys, I'd probably wait for this guy to go on clearance before buying him. I don't know, maybe if he gets cheap enough, I'll buy him and repaint parts of him. I don't know yet. But you still can't really make up for the lack of the glow-in-the-dark plastic on him. Unless, of course, you buy a second original Scareglow and just replace thighs there. You could do that. And the hands. So I guess you actually could improve this figure, except for, of course, you know, the glow-in-the-dark being different colors because, you know, they wanted the blue glow for whatever reason instead of the green. God, what a waste, seriously. But why don't you guys go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments below about this one. And if you enjoyed this look at Scareglow, or at least enjoyed me bitching about it, please feel free to scare that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.